In June 2012, President Obama issued an executive action on immigration which grants temporary permission to live and work in the United States for certain undocumented youth who came to the U.S. as children. However, there are still many immigrants without papers in Hawaii that don't know about this program. It's called Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA for short, and it could change your life if you are one of the thousands who have been living in fear of deportation.
They decided to take this brave journey and come to the United States where they didn't know anyone, didn't speak English. It was a very courageous choice for them to make. And they made it out of love for their children because they wanted us to have a better opportunity in life. And so we moved to the United States in 2001 and we went to Texas. And it was very, very difficult for all of us. I was 15 years old and it was a very hard time. The fear of deportation was very real for them, for my parents and for the children, leaving to go to work and not knowing if you'll be able to come back and find your family at home. Also, wage theft was a big problem that my parents encountered because they didn't have the documents. A lot of people took advantage of that situation and there was nothing they could do. There was nowhere for them to go because if we went to the police without proper documentation, that could result in one of us being deported. But for me, the biggest challenge was when I graduated from high school and I had a 3.8 GPA. I had big plans for my education and I couldn't fulfill those dreams. I was stuck in limbo and I had to go into cleaning houses and go into a life that is not what my parents came here for.
When I was young, I was pretty oblivious to everything. I was just happy, and then just realizing that when your mom works 2 to 3 jobs, that's not normal. I thought that was normal when I was a kid. It was when I turned 18, we started filing for our residency here. The process took so long that I turned 21, and then immigration said that my parents would get their green cards and I would get mine. My parents got theirs, and a few months later, I get a letter in the mail saying I have to go to court for deportation proceedings. Without documentation, you can't really do anything. The only jobs you can apply for is with family where they pay you under the table. So before I got my DACA, I was building rock walls and that was a really hard lifestyle. I had to go to my uncle's house in Wailua and I didn't have a car. So I would have to wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, catch the bus to Pearl City, to catch another bus to Wailua to go build rock walls in the hot sun. And then at the end of the day, I would take a 2-hour bus ride home, go to sleep by 10, to wake up again at 4. Some people say it's good for right now, because you're young and you're strong. But when you get older, you can't do that forever.
I'm 29 years old and not having Social Security, I'm not afforded the same opportunities to go to school. Also, I've had surgery and I wasn't qualified to have any health insurance. Being an immigrant, it's hard because you already know you're gonna have doors closed on you.
They aren't able to pursue the American dream their parents sought for them, but there is hope through DACA.
In 2012, when the president announced Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, I was very excited, but also very hesitant to apply. I didn't know what danger I would be putting myself and my family in.
Remember that pretty much every one of these eligible young people has family members here that are undocumented. The concern is, if I answer all these questions, I tell you where we all live and we tell you when we came in the country and we have no papers and here we are, what about the family? Aren't we exposing them to jeopardy? The Immigration Service has very clearly stated that they are not going to use this information to enforce deportation on the family members. My sense is, my experience working with the Immigration Service over the years is yes, you can take them at their word. They're not going to use this information to enforce deportation on family members.
I had been living here undocumented for 10 years, and I had seen a lot of opportunities pass me by, and I knew that I couldn't continue to live that way. And it's completely changed my life for the better. Since getting DACA in 2012, I have been able to get a driver's license, to get a career, to go to school, and leave my home every day knowing that I can come back to my family at the end of the day.
Here are the key requirements for the program. You came to the U.S. before your 16th birthday, have lived continuously in the U.S. since June 15, 2007 to the present time, were under the age of 31 as of June 15, 2012, have graduated or obtained certification of completion from high school, were honorably discharged from the U.S. Armed Forces or Coast Guard, have not been convicted of a felony or serious misdemeanors. There are additional requirements which you can find out about through the Pacific Gateway Center and other organizations that offer free assistance. If you or someone you know is concerned about sharing confidential information, we can provide guidance and referrals to qualified attorneys if necessary.
Since I got my DACA, life has changed a lot. Like, I applied for my first job, got in, and then I worked really hard. I made supervisor. They gave me a company car, gave me a company phone, and it was really, really nice just to know that with hard work and effort, you can get places.
When I heard about the DACA, it felt like there was a door that opened.
Pacific Gateway Center is also conducting free workshops on DACA. For workshop dates and locations, please visit the Pacific Gateway Center website or like the DACA for Hawaii Dream Kids Facebook page. DACA is the opportunity to seize the hope, seize the dream.